This is part of the lecture series defining the detection unit. Here we'll talk about groups and single locations. This brings us to this corner of the decision tree for defining the detection unit. We've already decided that we want to use groups doing a single location as the detection unit, and we've already gone through the triangulation process and have built our capture history. These were covered in the previous lecture. So we'll speak about estimating the proportion of occasions that groups call on here now and how you can estimate it. If you collect SCR data from your detectors only during one occasion, as shown here on the left, it is very likely that you will not detect every group in the vicinity, as shown on the right, simply because not every group calls during each occasion. So you will need to work out what proportion of occasions the groups call on. There's nothing in the data from a single occasion that will give you the answer to that. So in case you're unsure what the word occasion refers to, remember it is part of the SCR jargon. You can think of it as each individual time you go out to your detectors and collect data. For example, if you go out for 2 hours every morning for 5 days, then you have 5 sampling occasions of 2 hours each. But for gibbons, this should mean days or mornings, as gibbons usually call for more than 2 hours and usually in the mornings. So in order to estimate what proportion of occasions the groups call on, we might have to follow some of the groups for several occasions. In this example, we followed all 4 groups detected during sampling occasion 1 for 6 further occasions. So this is one of the options where you sample on day 1 and you go out again and do focal follows on 6 more days during the same time. Other options exist also. Remember, this is a very simplified theoretical example. It only serves illustrative purposes and does not include recommendations about sample size of how many groups you need to follow for how many days. That would be an advanced topic which we'll cover in a later lecture. So the groups following occasion 1, the following occasions after occasion 1 are not proper SCR sampling occasions, as we don't need to record detections during the entire occasion. All we need to know is whether each of the 4 groups called during the following occasions. In this example, we have data on whether or not each group called for 7 occasions, which includes the first occasion. So 2 of the groups called on 3 of the 7 days, 1 group called on 4, and 1 group called on 5 days. We can use this to calculate an average across groups. For your species, you will need to consider what a good sample size is in terms of how many groups to follow and for how many occasions. So this depends on variability between groups. But like I said, this is an advanced topic and we don't want to make any recommendations here. The key point to take here from this lecture, when using groups doing a single occasion as the detection unit, the proportion of occasions that groups call on need to be estimated.